If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and bell icon for more videos. Peace out, guys. Hey guys, I'm Gamer back here for another video, guys. Real fast to start off with this daily large quick sell step, but guys, today I'm going to be talking about my predictions for this week's predictor sets, and I got a 4K, just a bare minimum, which I told you before, that's usually all I get. But anyway, starting off with last week's predictions. Yeah. I think I got like 7 correct, and I gotta say, it was a really bad week. A lot of things happened that was just like, what the heck? Like, the Steelers lost, the Ravens got destroyed. Nothing that literally would have happened correctly happened. The Patriots almost lost to the Texans. It was just a crazy week. I'm going to toss that up too. It was just a random week, and sometimes this happens in the NFL where a random, type of scenarios happen where everything goes one way, and the team, I won't say the bad teams won, but I want to say the teams that are opposite of what people thought were going to win, they end up winning. So kind of an interesting week and a different type of week. But as you can see right here, I do have the Titans win against the Texans, at least by 2 points. I think this week everything's going to get back on pace and everything's going to start getting better. I did say true for that one. Next one we have here is going to be DeAndre has at least 7 receptions. I do think that will happen against Tennessee's defense, especially with Tennessee having a really, really bad pass defense. I do think that they can get 7 receptions. The Jags win against the Jets by at least 4 points. The Jets actually did do good last week and won 20-6, I believe, to Miami. Now the Jags did beat the Ravens 44-0, but that was, again, an outlier being in London. Nonetheless, though, I'm going to go with true for this one. I think the Jags can beat the Jets by 4 points. Jermaine Kearse had at least one touchdown, so rushing or receiving. I don't know. Because that's the Jets' #1 receiver, and he's going against Jalen Ramsey. And if he doesn't go against Ramsey, he goes against the Prince. And I think the Prince can shut him down pretty well. I said this last week going into the Ravens game. The Jaguars have one of the best defenses in the NFL. When it comes to talent, age, comparison, they are just amazing. They have an amazing secondary, amazing linebackers, and amazing defensive line. And I even said before last week that if the Ravens couldn't move the ball in offense, they couldn't get a stops on defense and couldn't pick off Blake Bortles, it was going to be a blowout, and it ended up being a blowout. So, not surprised on that one. I'm going to go with false on Jermaine Kearse scores a touchdown. The Patriots beat the Panthers by 9 points. Now, the Patriots are such a weird team, because they lost week 1 to the Chiefs, right? They almost lost last week to the Texans. It's almost like they just aren't blowing teams out anymore. Now, I believe they did blow out the team in week 2, but nonetheless, I'm going to go with yes. And it's really, really difficult for me to say this because I think the Panthers are a great team. I know my prediction-wise doesn't say that, but I think I had them going 8-8 prediction-wise, which is still not a bad prediction. I definitely could see them going 8-8, but I think that they are really going to do good this season. Now, with Cam Newton all banged up, hopefully, if, I'm correct on this one, because I think true is going to be what I go with there. Tom Brady has at least 3 total passing and rushing touchdowns. Well, passing and rushing touchdowns. Does that mean if he hands the ball off, does that count as a touchdown? Or does it mean literally quarterback sneaks? Because we know Tom Brady's not getting mobile. He's not T-Mobile out here, Tyrod Taylor running around. So, I would go with, against the Panthers defense, Luke Kuechly. Obviously, I'm going to go, I think this will be kind of a high-scoring game. Vikings win against the Lions. Is this in Detroit or is this in Minnesota? Now, of course, the Vikings last week, they, killed the Bucs, and obviously that was a great win for them. And then, of course, the Lions got cheated at the end by the Falcons. Sorry, Falcons fans, Golden Tate had a touchdown there. I'm just saying, Golden Tate kind of scored. This is in Minnesota, so I would go with true when it comes to this scenario. If this was in Detroit, it would be the opposite. I would go with Detroit winning, but I think Vikings can beat them at home. Sam Bradford might play. He's not ruled out for this game yet. But at the same time, I don't know. Like, that other quarterback, the backup, he really looked good against Tampa Bay. Case Keenum. Thank you, EA, for giving me his name the second later. Case Keenum has at least 2 passing touchdowns and no interceptions. Now, if they would have just said 2 passing touchdowns and that's it, I would have taken this. But because it said no interceptions, I'm going to go with false here. Darius Slay last week had a pick 6 and another interception. They also had another pick on Matt Ryan. So, I'm not feeling this about Case Keenum. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Matt Ryan's trash. I do not think he's that great of a quarterback. But I still think he's decent enough that the Lions actually do have a real good defense. So, I'm going to go with false here. Falcons win by the Bills by at least 9 points. The Bills lost one last week against the Broncos. They had 3 interceptions, I believe, on Trevor Siemian. And the Falcons almost lost to the Bears, and they should have lost to the Lions. I'm going to go with... false, 100% false. At least by 9 points? No way in heck they win by at least 9 points. So this one, I would go with false there. Falcons defense has at least 2 sacks. Now, the Bills offense is suspect to say the least. They got no receivers other than Charles Clay being no tight end and LaShawn McCoy at the backfield. LaShawn McCoy is also has an injury issue right now. Vic Beasley. I'm going to go with true. I'm going to go with true for this one. Next one. Steelers win a win against the Ravens by at least 3 points. Now, I do like this at 3 points. I believe Vegas has the spread at 5 points, and I would never take that. Ravens-Steelers games are always close no matter what the situation is. To be honest, I would probably go with... It's in Baltimore, and I know I'm going to be like a homer here, but I'm going to go with Ravens win, so I would take a false here. Joe Flacco has at least 250 passing yards and 1 passing touchdown. 250 passing yards? No, false. I would go with false here. Based on seeing how Joe plays, no way in heck I'm going with Joe Flacco in any scenario. False. Bengals win against the Browns by at least 3 points. I think this is true. I think this is a week the Bengals actually win a game. It is in Cleveland, which is really difficult because the Bengals always have an issue going in Cleveland and winning, and the opposite is around when, Cleveland comes to the jungle and the Bengals are just amazing. So, this is difficult. The Bengals look so bad this year, though. They almost beat the Packers. Shout out to the Packers for almost losing to the Bengals. They, got beat by the Texans, which that was a really close, weird game. I mean, to be honest, both teams kind of looked iffy. And then, of course, the Ravens shut them out 20-0, which was mostly on Andy Dalton. They probably could have scored a lot of points on the Ravens, in all honesty, watching that game back. But, again, now this is actually difficult, guys. I want to say yes, but it's in Cleveland. They almost won last week against the Colts. No. I'm going with true. I'm not falling into this trap of Cleveland. No offense, Browns fans, but I'm not falling into your trap, Browns fans. I know how this works. Cleveland, you're going to lose, but I'll take Bengals true. Andy Dalton had no. Oh. 300 passing yards or at least 2 passing touchdowns. Okay, I thought it said and. When I read the first part, at least 300 passing yards. No. But it says and. Okay, I like and. I like or. It didn't say and. It says or, which I like the word or. Okay, I can take that. Yeah, true. I'm going to go with true for this 2 passing touchdowns. I'm not... Take out the first part, EA. Just don't even just say Andy Dalton has at least 2 passing touchdowns. Keep that in. Take out that first part. I don't want that first part in there because I don't even see that first part as a plausible thought. Cowboys win against the Rams by at least 9 points. This is actually going to be annoying because I really had the Rams going so bad this season. And now I think the Rams are really going to start doing good. Now, I mean, they played three not booty cheeks teams, but three kind of iffy teams. But nonetheless, I think the Rams, I mean, with the, Cowboys kind of struggling right now, can't get Zeke going. At first, they did awful against the Cardinals in that game. Came back, Dak Prescott got a rushing touchdown himself, threw a touchdown to Dez Bryant, and then Zeke Elliott got a score. So, I'm going to go with 9 points. They won against Cardinals by 11, but the Rams have a really stout offense. I'm going to go with false. I'm going to go with false here. I do think the Cowboys will win, but I do not think it's going to be by 9 points. I think it's going to be about a 5-point win. Or, 5-point win. Dez Bryant has at least 6 receptions or 100 receiving yards. True. I would honestly probably take true on both scenarios, but because it says or, and either one has to happen, I'm going to go with true there. Eagles win against the Chargers by at least 2 points. Duh, obvious, no even question about that. True. That's not even a question. Keenan Allen has at least 7 receptions or at least 1 touchdown. I'm going to go with true in that scenario. Bucs win against the Giants by at least 4 points. See, they almost beat the Eagles last week, the Giants. The Bucs got completely killed by the Vikings. And I feel like Eli Manning has to have one of these games. Like last week, he had that game where it's like 1 or twice a season where he just goes off and they lost. And I don't know if he can repeat that, and especially being in Tampa Bay. Tampa's going to be mad they lost to the Vikings. They're going to want to come out and just punch the mouth out of New York. I'm going to go with true. I'm going to go with true in this one. Jameis Winston has at least 300 passing yards or at least 2 passing touchdowns. I'm going to go with true for this one. Now, this really hurts me to say this because I had the Giants going so well this season. I thought they would have such a great season. I had them going to the playoffs. They were one of my contenders. I thought they could go to the Super Bowl this season. And then I saw them play and they had so much promise. They had so much promise, guys. Cardinals win against the 49ers by at least 7 points. Why? Why is this a thing? Why are the 49ers so good bad? They're such a good team, but they're so freaking bad. It makes no sense. They do everything you're supposed to do. Last week, they could have beat the Rams. They could have. And they just don't. They just don't do it. Oh my gosh. At least I'm not laying 7 points on either of these teams. I'm gonna go with false. No. I don't know who's gonna win this game, either Cardinals or the 49ers, but I'm putting it a 3-point spread between whoever wins, and either one I'm not taking on a 7-point spread. No way in heck. Carson Palmer has 0 interceptions. Yeah, that's never gonna happen. So false on that one. False and false. Broncos win against the Raiders by 2 points. Well, if Derek Carr shows up this week, it will be a different ball game. Last week, I believe David Carr put on his uniform by accident and walked down the field against the Redskins. God, they were awful. The Broncos will be coming back after throwing 3 picks to the Buffalo Bills, getting completely destroyed. And then, of course, the Raiders lost by, 17 points? 27-10, 17 points against the Deadskins. Going to be interesting. Now, this is a really small spread at 2 points, but I don't know who I would even think is going to win this game. And obviously, neither team is going to win by 1 point, so I would have to either choose the Broncos or the Raiders. And I feel like I have more faith in that Broncos defense than I do in the Raiders offense. Or the Raiders defense, obviously. I have more faith in the Broncos defense than I do on the Raiders team and the Broncos offense. So I'm going to go with true. But that's really, really iffy for me. So I'm going to go true there. Khalil Mack has at least 1 sack. True. Seahawks win against the Colts by at least 13 points. Okay, so Andrew Luck's officially ruled out for this game, but they said he could come back week 6 and week 7. So that doesn't matter here. I'm just putting that out there in case you didn't know. Andrew Luck's coming back, guys. They said it doesn't matter what the record is. They don't care about that. I think they do, but at the same time, it's like, we got to save Chuck Pagano, right? That's the head coach of the Colts. We had to save his job. But 13 points is a lot of points to lay. Now, they did do a really good last week against the Titans. They scored a lot of points, and obviously the Titans took a 30-20 lead, and they scored at the very end of the game. They weren't able to get the ball back. Now, with that in mind, 13 points against Seattle, I just have such a hard time laying any points against them. With them when it comes to a lot of points in the game. Now, the Colts with Jacoby Brissett now look actually pretty decent. I'm going to go with false. Seattle's going to win this game. Don't get me wrong. They're going to win this game. But they're not going to win by 13. I think they're going to win by 7. So I'm going to go with false there. Jacoby Brissett has at least 200 passing yards and no interceptions. False, 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 false. How can you say freaking false? False. Not true. Not going to happen. You can quote me on that one. He's not going to have 220 yards, passing yards, and 0 interceptions. Jimmy Graham has at least 7 receptions or at least 1 touchdown. This is so difficult because mostly with tight ends, you could always rely on those 7 receptions, and the touchdown is just, if they get near the goal line. Now, Seattle does like to target Jimmy Graham, 6'7" frame near the goal line, but at the same time, I really do not like laying anything on Jimmy Graham when it comes to this offense because they don't target him enough. I'm going to go with true because the Colts are really all crappy at defense, but I really don't like having that situation there. Seahawks defense has at least 2 sacks. True. Chiefs win against the Redskins by at least 7 points. True. Redskins, Ryan Kerrigan has at least 1 sack. True. True. Tyreek Hill has at least 100 total rushing and receiving yards. True. And finally, Justin Houston has at least 1 sack, and I think that will be true. So tell me your predictions down below, guys. Which ones do you agree or disagree on? I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.